All right, everybody, nothing beats a man in a suit monster movie, and that's what we got here today. Let's do it. Okay, we're looking at 1979's Prophecy, the original man-bear-pig running through the wilderness, killing people left and right motion picture. But before we go any further, as always, to the trailer. Let's do it.
It is not the offspring of witchcraft or Satan. It was created by man. It will grow to be 15 feet tall. It will have huge eyes, webbed hands, hooked claws. It will walk upright. And it will mindlessly, mercilessly kill every living thing it meets. Prophecy.
Okay, this motion picture was directed by John Frankenheimer. Now, John Frankenheimer had done several motion pictures that I really, really liked. He did Black Sunday with Robert Shaw. He did 52 Pickup with Chief Brody himself. He did The Manchurian Candidate, Ronin, The Birdman of Alcatraz, 7 Days in May. He even did that Island of Dr. Moreau remake with Marlon Brando in the 90s. I wasn't really a big fan of that, but, you know, it is what it was. But quality director, done quality work, did quality job here, as always. Okay, let's keep going with the cast. Okay, playing Maggie was Talia Shire. Now, come on, man. Without fucking Adrian, there'd be no Rocky. And we all know and love Talia Shire. She was just a sweetheart and a cutie. And obviously, she was Adrian in Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And she was also in The Godfather 1, 2, 3. And she's been in some other stuff, too. She's been in, like, New York Stories and Bed and Breakfast, Cold Heaven, Old Boyfriends, but her career and everything that we will always know her for will always be Adrian in the Rocky movies or in the Godfather flicks. That's just the way it goes. And shit, man, that's enough right there. All right, let's keep going. Okay, playing Rob was Robert Foxworth. Now, Rob Foxworth, he was in a bunch of movies, but he did really mostly TV shows, to be brutally honest. You know, he was in Damien, The Omen 2. He was in Airport 77. He was in TV shows, a lot of them, like Quincy and Falcon Crest and Cagney and Lacey and Babylon 5 and City of Angels. And he was even the voice of Ratchet or something like that in a bunch of the Transformers short movies or whatever the hell they were. I don't know. I was never the Transformers crap. Whatever. But been around for a long time, done tons and tons of TV work. He popped up in movies too. You recognize him when you see him. Sometimes when he has the beard off, he's more recognizable. But whatever. Did a good job here. Let's keep going. Okay, playing John Hawkes was Armand Assante. Now, he had a career that really kind of launched off around that time, in the early 70s, or late 70s, pardon me, in the early 80s. Obviously, he was in this. He popped up in Little Darlings, Private Benjamin, but his career they kind of more pushed him when he did movies like I the Jury, which was kind of like just like this sleazeball detective flick, but it was what it was. He was in the Mambo Kings. He was in Hoffa, Judge Dredd, Funny Money, American Gangster. So, good career, been around a long time. I mean, Jesus Christ, he's been doing this since the 70s when you see him popping up in this. So, Armand Assante, really good part, really well played. Let's keep going. Okay, playing Isley was Richard Dysart. Now, I really like Richard Dysart. He's one of those kind of guys, when you've seen him, you believe whatever the hell he was saying to you. Now, he was in a lot of really, really cool movies. Obviously, he was in John Carpenter's The Thing. Bam, right there. That's enough. He was also in Clint Eastwood's Pale Rider. What more do you say? He was also in Being There. He was also in that movie Meteor. You know what I mean? That sci-fi classic Meteor. But he was really probably most well known for being on L.A. Law, where I think they gave him like an Emmy or some, whatever they give those actors. I don't like award shows. Whatever they give those people, you win shit. So anyway, Richard Dysart, I like him. I don't know what else to say. Okay, let's keep going. And also playing Ramona was Victoria Racimo. Now, she had a career that, like, you'd see her pop up a bit, and she had such a distinctive look that you would remember her face. She was really mostly a TV actress, really. She'd done in a few movies, but most of her career was on television. She was in stuff like Kung Fu, on the Mod Squad, Hawaii Five-0, Lou Grant, Falcon Crest, Doogie Howser, MD. She was like in Ernest Goes to Camp or some shit like that, and another, in motion pictures. But she had a career. It didn't really turn into much. She's still out there doing whatever she did, but she had her time in front of the camera, and she did a good job in this. Okay, let's keep going. Wait, that's it. Let's get to the story. Okay, let's get right to the story. There's a doctor. He works for the EPA. Him and his little lady go flying out to the woods to see what's going on in this conflict between Native American tribes and between the loggers, and how they're going to work this out politically about who owns the land and who has the right to do this and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. The Native Americans are claiming that there's something wrong with this logging company. They're destroying the land. Their kids are getting sick. People are being born mutated. And in the middle of this, out of nowhere, comes this giant monster bear that's mutated. Half its face is screwed up. It's all deformed, and it's killing campers. They're blaming it on the Indians. It's killing everybody. They're blaming everything on the Indians, actually. The thing's killing anybody it comes into contact with. And finally, the loggers, the sheriff, everybody sees that it's this giant man bear pig, that's the South Park thing, running around the woods, killing everybody. Turns out that, do I really want to give you that much? Okay, I'll give you this. It turns out that the logging company is using mercury for drying out the wood or doing whatever the hell they do to it to condition it before it goes into machines. The mercury's going to the bottom of the lake, all the fish are contaminated, and everybody eating the fish is being born mutated and messed up and deformed and blah, blah, blah. And the same thing's happened to the wildlife. The tadpoles are the size of kittens, and the bear is gigantic, it's pissed, its babies are deformed, and it's on a rampage. That's the whole premise of this movie. And it's just beautiful just for that. It was part of that late 70s era, we're screwing up the environment series of motion pictures, whether it was, we'll get to more of that later. But anyway, let's get to the conclusion of why I love this. Okay, Prophecy is just simply put a really straightforward, old-fashioned monster movie. You know it's a guy running around in a big bear suit. You know it's not some super fancy dancy special effects. You know what it is 3 minutes after you turn it on. But it's done in a way that it takes itself seriously all the way through. It doesn't try to get comedic or dumb or stupid. It stays true to itself. It takes itself as a horror movie, or maybe an environmentally conscious horror movie, and it delivers. There's just enough action and just enough scares and just enough a little bit of gore to make it interesting and fun, and there's enough drama about the Native Americans fighting with the loggers. You have a top level group of actors in this thing, and that basically carries this motion picture, really. The actors and solid directing. Gives you the chance to appreciate a story which is kind of goofy and ludicrous and kind of stupid at the same time. But the acting, the directing, everything about this motion picture sets you up to go on a joyride for an hour and a half or 2 hours into this little silly, cheesy horror movie that's based on a little silly, cheesy horror plot. A plot that was, by the way, very, 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 very prevalent in the late 70s, whether it was like, Food of the Gods or Night of the Lepus or whatever the hell it was. We're damaging the environment, we're doing things wrong, Kingdom of the Spiders is another. And somehow these things are just pissed off, and they're either fighting mankind or they're growing huge and attacking mankind paying for his sins. That's basically what all that kind of stuff is. Now, the only thing I will say that I don't really like about this motion picture is the score to it. I thought the score was at times just heavy-handed and goofy, and I'm like, why are you laying the shit on so thick, so often, so soon in certain places? But if you can overlook the soundtrack, which is a little bit and come on, let's face it, the movies that we all love, the soundtracks are usually then you can just get into this motion picture and you're going to have a kicking awesome time. Again, it was so well put together that you overlook the premise of it being completely goddamn ridiculous. The Prophecy, 1979. Worth the look, worth a couple hours of your time, worth taking the time out of your day to go back and review and relive an old hidden gem from the past. Okay, everybody, thanks for joining again. I'm going to have more videos coming out as always. If you ever make requests, which I know some of you have, and I haven't got to them, I'm sorry. I don't mean that. I have a couple of them that were asked for, and they're in the can. I got the Sentinel coming up. You know, that's one of the next ones after this. And then we got a Convoy and things like that. I try to watch and do these movies as I get a chance to watch them. I want to go back and see them again before I throw everything out. So I get all the information together, I put them into files, and then I try to pick out a night when I'm not running around, I'm not busy, I'm not crazy, and I can just sit down and watch them, take them in. Hopefully the wife will watch them with me too. That determines which ones get watched a lot also. And I'll just review them the next time I get a chance. So, everybody, thanks for tuning in again. God bless. Everybody take care of yourselves. Get out there, experience this movie and the other ones you've seen me review in the past. It's all about fun and having a good time with cinema. God bless. Take care.